How are we doing? I miss you guys. We're back for another season of Love is Blind. And baby, this is not like season one. Love is Blind season two. It's a very different vibe over here. A very different vibe. It's giving like the later seasons of The Bachelor. I feel like because this show became so popular, so many people flock to it, and so many people with agendas flock to this show because it's not the same vibe. It is not the same vibe, but we will get into that. How are you guys? Hey, Connie. How are you? Hey, Denard. What's up, Miss Gigi? Yeah. Well, listen, guys, I see a lot of you talking about not fake Gary Busey. I have to give credit where credit is due, and that is from the Grace Report. When I on Saturday, I joined her live talking about Love is Blind, and she brought up that Shane looks a lot like Gary Busey. And I'm telling you, for the life of me, I was like, who does this guy look like? Who does this guy look like? And when the Grace Report said it, I said, there it is. There it is. Gary Busey. He looks more like Gary Busey's son than the actual Gary Busey. But my God, today, that is who he looks like. Looks, acts, and sounds like him. Whoo, he needs to make sure that's not his father. Like, find that out. You could be a love child, Shane. You could be a love child. Hey, Antilles said, hey, Nick girl, welcome back. You might have to call him Gary Busey. He looks like him, guys. He looks like him. What's up, Tony? Tony said, hey, Nikki, I binged 5 episodes and I'm loving it. Me too. Like, the show is good and messy. It's just not season 1. Season 1 had me crying and just, falling in love with love. Season 2, I'm like, oh, this is messy. This is messy, but it's still a good watch. It's still a good watch. So we will recap for the rest of this week. We'll recap up to episode 6. So Friday, I'll be reviewing episode 5 and 6. Tomorrow, I'll do 3 and 4. And then next week, we'll finish the season. Hey, Amiria. Amiria said, hey, Nikki, will you only be reviewing episodes 1 and 2? Because I'm only on episode 3. Yes, guys, I'm only reviewing episode 1 and 2. I know that people have binged, but please, no spoilers. Just comment like you've only watched episodes 1 and 2 because, not everybody's able to binge or not everybody binges. Some people like to just wait. So just give people time to catch up with you. So we're only going to talk about episode 1 and 2. No skipping ahead. I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to myself as well. Hey, Caitlin. Caitlin said, to be honest, I only got through less than half of episode 1. Shane and Shake are so unbearable. Absolutely unbearable. Never, Shanna. Shanna said, no one will top Lauren and Cameron. You're absolutely right. And I think if you're looking for that on this season, you will not find them. You will not find them. I think because this show was so new, right? Episode 1, it was an experiment. They, you don't really know how it's going to end, right? You don't really know what's going to happen when you put all these people together. I feel like episode 2 is a little bit more season 2 is a bit more manipulated than episode 1. I think episode 1 was just really an experiment. And I feel like episode 2 is a calculated manipulation. Season 2 is a calculated manipulation. So we will see. Miss Gigi said season 1 was popular because it was different and we were stuck in the house. Yes, it was. Love is Blind season 1 went viral right around the time of Tiger King. So yeah, I do agree with you there. Adriana said, I feel so bad for Natalie. I do too, right? But Natalie gives me pick me. Natalie gives big pick me vibes. So we'll see. We'll see. We will see. Right, Melissa? I don't like any of them. Any of them. Even the one I was liking got on my nerves. So not liking any of the women. Not liking any of the men. The women on the show are weak in the knees. I need them to stand up but I don't know if that's going to happen. It's disappointing. Miss Gigi said, I finished all the episodes on Saturday after your live with Grace. Are all the episodes released? I didn't know they released all the episodes. Let me know. Thank you, Yolande, for joining us again. Yolande said, back again. Only watch 20 minutes, but I don't mind. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Hey, Samantha. Melissa also said, I went back and I watched the season 1 episode today because Lauren and Cameron was everything. Yeah, they stole the show. We were like bawling with them, bawling with this couple. Hey, Brittany said, hey, Nikki, I can't wait to talk about these messy couples. Are you going to do Drag Race this season? I missed your reviews during All-Star Season 6. Yes, I was actually going to do a Drag Race on Saturday, but, I just, you guys know I got a lot going on this week and next week. So I just did not have time, but I will be doing Drag Race Saturday after my Love is Blind recap with the Grace Report. And I think Jason may join us. I'm not sure. But after that recap later in the day on Saturday, I'll do Drag Race. So I'm just going to start doing Drag Race on Saturdays just because there's so much going on Fridays with Love is Blind, Drag Race, and Love during lockup. It's just too much going on. Too much going on a Friday. So I wanted to start doing that one on Saturday. It does. Mario said, Lauren and Cameron were a match made in heaven. This season does seem a little bit more produced. Absolutely. Dr. Rim, did he? Shake kind of redeemed himself on episode 2. And Shane just confirms that he just wants both slices of the cake on episode 2. Yeah. Rebecca, we're not jumping ahead. We are not jumping ahead. I love Deep T. I love her. We're not jumping ahead, but she deserves better. Me too. I love Ayanna too, but she deserves better. All the women deserve better. All of the women. Okay, so it's not finished. The next set will be released on the 18th. I knew it. I was just like, I don't think they on the 18th. So they're not going to release episode 6. Okay, so then I just might break it up then if we're not going to get episode 6 until the 18th. Oh wait, is the 18th Friday? Hold on, let me look at this damn calendar. Yep, Friday. Ciao. February is moving fast. Tippy Simone said, they got my hopes up with all the sisters they casted only to give us one. Right? And no thick girls. Why would y'all focus on thick girls early on and then not give us any thick girls at the end? Messed up. Hey, Pseudo, thank you so much for the super chat. Ching, ching. As you guys know, my buzzer is packed up, so we won't be hearing from that thing for a minute. Pseudo said, hey, Nikki, finally catching it live. I've missed you. Sorry again for your loss. Thank you so much. Haven't watched the season yet, but season 1 set such a high bar. Yes, let me tell you something. It wasn't met. It's a good, messy show, but season 1, I just feel like that's just, that's just a unicorn. I don't think they're going to get that back again. Hey, Bettina said Shake's internalized self-hate is deep. Absolutely. Sadly, it's common in Americanized Southeast/Asian communities. Both he and Deep T have never kissed another brown person. I think Natalie also only dated white men. Yeah, that is something to dig into. That is really something to dig into. I wish I knew I don't know. I don't have any Asian YouTuber friends. I would love to talk to somebody about that on the show because I can only assume, right, as a Black person. But that would be something very deep to dig in because I do see that. In Shake a lot. And I can only give it from my perspective as a Black person because we have Black people like that in the Black community. But it's probably a lot more deeper and different, with another community. I would love, but I don't have any YouTube buddies, and I don't have my Asian friends. Don't do this. They would not come on allowed to talk about Asian, their community issues. Yeah, darn it. It would be nice. It would be nice to have somebody to talk about that with, because I think that's very important. But you know what? No, I'm not going to do that, because YouTube is starting to give me a problem with like my any of my race videos or my sex videos, like sex meaning talking about women's issues. They always give me a hard time with those videos. So I might just start. It just seems like a lot of work, but I might just start a Patreon so we can have those conversations without YouTube suppressing them. But we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. We will see what the future holds. Tony said, I was liking some of the couples, but now that I've seen, my mind is slowly changing. Yeah, same. Kirsten said, I don't like how they focus on the ladies who lost weight and have body insecurities and not the curvy ladies who love themselves. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, Tony, let them know. Don't forget to smash that like button. Hey, Jutley said that these girls this season are very insecure, extremely insecure. Okay, thank you, Gigi. Miss Gigi said, Nikki, only 5 episodes so far. Then every week we get additional episodes. Final episodes will be released on February 25th. I don't know. That's going to be it. I don't know if I could do it that day. We'll see. We will see. Hey, Irene. How are you? Exactly, Aisha Nor TV. It was moving quick. They were saying I love you, and I was like, how? Yep, 72 hours. 72 hours? Really? A lot of this was moving too fast, and I feel like a lot of, I don't know. I'm just getting I'm getting opportunists here. Hey, Sebastian, thank you so much for the super chat. Ching ching. Sebastian said, self-hating Ratatouille made me so mad. Oh, I wish Deep T had said no to him. Me too. Angela said Deep T deserves better. Yes, guys, are we skipping ahead? Oh, Tony gave us a different perspective. She said Shakes gives me a Toronto vibes kind of guy, straight from Malvern to be specific, my hood. Any fellow Malvernians, let us know. Miss Brown Sugar said, yes, more produced both by the show and the cast now. Absolutely. Oh, Shanna, absolutely. Shanna said, and Shayna is Jessica 2.0. She just wanted to see Shade at the honeymoon, in my opinion. Yep. We will get into that. Yes. I'm so excited. And I just can't hide it. Yes, part-time though. Part-time. Definitely part-time, but I'm excited. I'm excited. Where you at? What part of LA are you in? Nothing is happening outside. I'm literally looking outside. We got nothing. What part are you in? Aisha New York TV said, everyone wants white people, and I don't understand what all the hype is. Money, power, and privilege. That's what it is. I'm not saying that's the only thing. Like, we're not going to act like, there ain't some lookers in the white community, right? We're not going to sit up here and lie. But, I think that also happens with a lot of first and second generation Americans. I think that happens too, that they're raised to, if you're not going to go within your culture, if you go outside your culture, go white, because they have the money, power, and the privilege. Welcome to America. Hey, Melissa. Melissa said, I think season 1 was unrealistic. Season 2 was showing the real difficulty of modern day dating because everything is a mess. You know what? That's a great perspective. That is a great perspective. I can totally see this being what's happening, and I'm starting to see the show a little differently just by this comment. Because that does make sense. That does make sense. Me too, Denard. Denard said, I'm really missing the season 1 crew. And the season 1 crew, and this season has progressed into a mess. Aisha, I was not surprised that Shane was into Natalie, and we will get into it when I get into the review. Miss Pressure said, Nikki, I don't know any South Asian YouTubers, but there are some cool Bravo podcasters that may be worth checking with. I'll DM you. I was about to ask you to do that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Because I think Nick and Jessica. What is her name? Oh God, I feel bad. Nick and People of Color, Jessica. I think they signed a deal with the show, and I think they signed on for multiple seasons. That's why. But I think, honestly, I hate to take a check out of anybody's hands, but I think if the show would want to do well, the smart choice would be to hire their most successful couple as the host, especially since Lauren and Cameron are looking for hosting jobs, especially Lauren. Maybe make her the host and have Cameron pop in, because Cameron doesn't seem like a TV guy, but Lauren is definitely that girl. Samantha, I didn't want to say it. But it was quick. It was quick. Oh gosh. Let me get two more. And then I'll hop into the season, the review. Denard said body dysmorphia it's definitely been shown in a lot this season. I appreciate it, but I get the struggle in it, just focusing on the women when there are men this season who struggle with it too this season. Absolutely. Shake being one of them. Really? Let me look outside. We're not too far from there. I don't see nothing. It's just really overcast. Child. Yeah, it's just mad overcast. I don't know what's going on. Hey, Growing and Cooking. Growing and Cooking said, girl, I'm going to need you to talk about episode 4 and 5 ASAP, the drama child. You know what? I'll just do it tomorrow then. I'll just do 3 and 4 tomorrow, and then I'll do 5 and 6 on Friday, just to get everything out of the way. Taters, what's up, Taters? Tater said, Spencer Davila, the moment I saw him shirtless, I thought they need to stop pushing him onto the audience. Like he said, like he's the Barnett of the season or something. Are we talking about Shake or Shane? Let's end here. Oh, the Americana is it. Oh, I love that Americana. Especially that sur la table. That's my store. That is if you will find me there. And then I go to that the Chinese restaurant. What is it called? Din Tai. Oh, girl, Din Tai is my spot. I always get the cucumber salad. I get the chicken and rice. I get the lo mein, and then I get their chicken dumplings. That's my spot. And then I also, when I'm feeling fancy, I go to the restaurant on the corner. What's that restaurant on the corner? I can't think of it. But Din Tai is my spot. And that Anthropology is where I get all my candles from. Because me and Bath and Body Works is still beefy. They did me dirty for that candle sale. Child, I don't know how long it's going to take me to get over that. But baby, they'll never get the chance to treat me like that again. You know what, Miss Brown Sugar? That's what it's given. That's where it's given. Oh, goodness. Hey, it's Latasha. There was one more I wanted to get. Oh, Pseudo. Pseudo said, really, though, the Lachey's are so irrelevant. Oh, my gosh. It's nothing to the show. I hate to say it, but yeah, Sudo, you're right. You're right. Just because I like Nick and Vanessa. Thank you. I like Nick and Vanessa, but it's just like, what is the point of you guys being there? They need to make them more a part of the show. It's like The Bachelor and their new host, older Clayton. He just pops in and pops out, and you're like, oh, the show has a host. You forget you have to, if you're going to have a host, they need to be in every aspect of the show. If not, let them go. Let them go. Let them go. Let them go. Ayanna Van Zant. Ayanna Van Zant would be great for this show, Sydney. Sydney said, honestly, the way the season is going, they should just have therapists as a therapist as a host. Ayanna Van Zant is my pick. She's good TV. She knows what she's talking about. She's also messy. The way she would get Shane together, beloved, you're trifling. Natalie, you're so hungry for a penis! A white penis! Let me stop. Sorry, Mom. Oh, gosh, she would be great. Great on this show. Let's get into episode 1. I will give this show this. The diversity in the beginning was great. The diversity in the beginning was great. I really thought that we were going to get, just an all across the board diverse cast. But listen, this show is an experiment. They did great in the casting, but whoever finds love and has an interesting storyline, that's what they focus on. I will say it was extremely misleading to focus on 2 plus-size women and then not give us any kind of love story connection that they had in the show. If they didn't have one, totally understandable. If they did and you didn't find it interesting, then you should not have introduced them to the audience, because I felt like y'all did that to say, see, we have, plus size people here and they can find love as well. You gave us them and got us hyped, had us, excited for them. And then you gave us 2 women who have body issues and a man that has body issues, but he's also a chauvinistic pig. Thanks. Thanks for showing us the women, the plus size sisters, sisters in a different way, not sisters like that, sisters meaning, women's. But thanks for showing us them and then not giving us them. Like, it was just weird. Nick and Vanessa, listen, for these 2, they got a really lucrative deal with this show because, I don't think they expected this show to be as popular as it is, but this show has become very popular, and I think it's going to be popular the messier it gets. Anyway, I think they got a really sweet deal. Oh, shout out to my new lotion, Champagne Toast. Don't look at the nails, please. If you were in my last live, you know that I had a little issue with my peppermint twist. Something was wrong with it. In the trash it went, and now we have upgraded to Champagne Toast. Anyway, when they first met the couples, one of the things that they said that they did not say last season. So I don't know if the show is like adding more difficulties to this show to give us more drama. But they said, they welcomed everybody and they said, welcome to Love is Blind, where you will not be able to judge a partner off of race, looks, height, or financial status. That bothered me. Nothing else bothered me but financial status, because let's be real. If these men are on this show to find a wife, they have to be providers. If you are setting up women with broke men as their husbands, what do you think is going to happen? It's just like with Married at First Sight. To literally have a man on this show who now has a whole wife and is unemployed, it's just, you're setting it up for disaster. You are setting this relationship up for disaster. Almost, 70% of the marriages in America that fall apart are due to finances. So why would you create the biggest hurdle, the biggest obstacle in a Love is Blind marriage when you know that people are already overlooking so many other things that they won't overlook. The finance thing bothered me, especially for the women. You got broke men on this show trying to be husbands for what? Ratings and views. Well, not this is streaming service, so views are the most important thing. But like, don't try to trick us and act like this is really a love experiment. This is a TV show. This is a TV show where now you got people who want to be on TV, who see the popularity of Love is Blind season one, and here they are. Because now throwing in this whole you won't know how much money they make thing, disaster. Absolute disaster. You will not be judged on your income. Then why are you trying to be a husband? How are you trying to be a husband and you don't got I don't know what's the income? It doesn't make sense. It's not realistic. It's not realistic. Can we talk about Joey with the white hair? I thought he was so cute. And the way this show focused on him, I really thought that he was going to be, one of the relationships that we follow this season, because on the Grace Report, I found out that he did get engaged and that he was filmed, but they just didn't think that his story was interesting enough, maybe because it, was too, positive. Maybe they just didn't want to follow that story, or maybe more things were happening in another relationship that they just felt that they needed to focus on. But I would have loved to have followed Joey. Again, they need to stop focusing on couples that they're not going to focus on for the rest of the season, because I just have I am starting to hear something. Maybe that's the hell coming over here. Because I am feeling kind of disappointed that we did not follow any love stories concerning Joey or the two plus size women on the show, right? Like, don't give them to us if we're not going to focus on them. I'm disappointed in that, because I would have liked to have seen how their stories turned out. So listen, don't cuss me out, right? I'm reviewing this as if I don't know what has happened. So I'm really liking Jared and Ayanna. I think they're a great, match. I enjoy their confessionals. I enjoyed their time together in the pod. I will say this: Jared and Ayanna are giving me big energy. I mean, I like the fact that connect on that level. I think that they can connect on that level because they're both Black. But I think that Jared is more sexually attracted to Mallory. And I say that because whenever they talk about going deep, it's always sexual. It's always sexual. When it's with him and Mallory, he's just having a really, really good time. When it's just him and Ayanna, he's just having a really good time. And it seems like he's busting it up with his buddy. I will say they do go deep in the next episode, and we'll get into that. But I like their energy. It's still such a friend vibe energy that they have. And I feel like their culture is the only culture, race, identity is the thing that is making them compatible, and why the conversations are so easy. I don't think the attraction is there on Jared's end for Ayanna as much as it is for Mallory. And I don't know if Jared is interested in Mallory for Mallory or because Mallory is different. You picking up what I'm putting down? Because they never really have, or so I've seen so far in episode 1, they don't really have very deep conversations. Like, they don't really, it's never giving friend vibes, right? You can always cut the sexual tension with the knife in either one of their pods when they're talking to each other. But for right now, I really like Ayanna and Jared. Shane, let's no, before we get into Shane, let's talk about Salvador. I feel like Salvador is such a charmer, right? And I think he relies heavily on the fact that he's a musician, because that works. That works for the women that he wants to get. He's able to pull out the ukulele or start singing. I think that really works for him. I don't think that he's a bad guy, it is kind of manipulative, even if it's coming from a good person. You know what you're doing. And I think he sometimes when he feels like Mallory is slipping, because they're starting to have a connection. And I think their connection is culture, just like with Jared and Ayanna. I think we have two couples who are going through the same thing, but their attractions are with different people. So I think that Jared and Mallory are really attracted to each other, and I feel like Ayanna and Salvador are the same boat with these two people who they want to be with. And I think culture is binding them, but genitalia is sending the partners that they want to be with in a different way. In a different way, because even with when Mallory is talking to Salvador, it's just not the same as her conversations are with Jared, but they're very similar to Jared's conversations with Ayanna, where it's a lot. They talk a lot about culture. They, Salvador was really excited when he asked her if she could speak Spanish, and she said, "Kano, but Kano." I'm African American, forgive me. But you know what I mean? Like that, he was really excited about that. And that's when, culture really came into play. And that started to be a binding thing for these two. But I don't think the attraction is there for Mallory as it is for Salvador. And I feel bad because I feel like Salvador and Ayanna are in the same boat, thinking that they're somewhere with one partner and they're just not there. Unfortunately, Unfortunately, Shane and Natalie, it's not a match. It's not a match. Shayna and Natalie are not a match. She is giving huge pick me vibes. I think that Shane's attraction to her is the fact that she's a pick me, and the fact that Natalie will bend and break and do whatever she can to appease him and will not give him pushback. Now, Shayna, Shayna for me is a better match for Shane. Here is why. She is, I won't go as far to say that she's not a pick me, but she is somebody who will challenge him. And I think Shane needs that. He doesn't like that, right? She challenges him. She doesn't, Shayna doesn't give him everything all at once. Like Natalie is all in with him, telling him everything that he needs to hear, stroking his ego. He doesn't get that from Shayna. Shayna tells him no. Shayna lets him know when she does not like something. Shayna is somebody who will challenge him, and that is exactly what he needs, but not what he wants. He wants somebody like a Natalie who will, do what she has to do to make her man happy, even if she's miserable. And that's the kind of woman that Shane wants, but he needs a Shayna. Why are all these women attracted to Gary Busey? I don't know what it is. Like when this episode starts off, everybody is talking about Shane. And when he goes into the pod, the women are like, "Oh my God, is this Shane?" And I'm like, "Ooh, what is going on?" Because first of all, you can't see him, right? So it has to be the voice that you guys are attracted to. What's going on with that voice is getting y'all all hot and bothered? Yeah, it's me, Shane. Yeah, everybody is saying that when they come into the room. Like, are you girls all talking about me? That's what's getting all the women in the pods excited. That voice. We are down bad. Y'all been locked up far too long. Wear your mask so we can get back to normalcy. Because the fact that that was the voice that was getting you moist. Look at me rapping. That was the voice that was getting you moist. Ew. The fact that that was the voice that was getting you moist is very concerning to me. Very concerning. I'm like, really? Shane. Okay. Whew. Y'all horny for white men. Horny. There was a time when that voice couldn't get no woman, but today times have changed. Yeah, it's me. Oh my gosh. At his big age, that's what y'all go. Anyway, let me move on. I will say Shane and Shayna definitely lead with sexuality, just like Jared and Mallory. Their conversations are always very hot and bothered as well. But they do, but their conversation is a bit more diverse in the things that they talk about. They're kindred spirits. I see them being alike in a lot of ways. So immediately I thought that they would be a much better match. I did not expect Shane to go for Natalie in the beginning, but the more I saw of Shane, I realized that although Shayna was his perfect match, Natalie was the woman that he could rule over, and that's what he wanted. And he went after what he wanted and not what he needed. In my opinion. And let's talk about Shane's conversations with Natalie. Shane's conversations with Natalie are deep, right? But it's giving therapists. You see, picking on what I'm putting down. Like whenever Shane is talking to Natalie, it's all about his issues, how he feels, and Natalie is in a sense mothering him and giving him direction and help and just therapizing him. I just made that up. Did I? That's basically what she's doing, and I think that's what he's looking for. He's looking for a protector. He's looking for a provider. He's looking for a mother. He's looking for a therapist. He's looking for a caretaker. He's looking for a pick-me, and he gets it all in Natalie. The way she was so excited leaving those pods talking after she talked to him, and I'm like, what did he learn about you? What did he learn about you? Absolutely nothing. But you heard that voice and you got moist. Let me stop. Hey, Shane. Shane sounds so hot. Natalie, really? Ciao. So anyway, Shane, we see a bit more of Shane and Shayna. They focus a lot on Shane and Shayna on episode 1, I guess because I think they're going to be one of the most explosive love triangles this season. I feel like Shane and Shayna are going to be the Jessica Barnett and girl with the bad credit of season 1. I think that's who they are going to all be. They're going to be that trio, but I think they're going to be that trio on steroids. That's what I think. I could be wrong. It's still early in the season, so who knows? I will say this: Shayna was getting real mad when she saw that Natalie and Shane was having more leeway because Shane was the one that she wanted. And I was so confused. Maybe it's because, I don't know. I don't think that voice could have got me either, but I was just like, how are you getting mad over Shane? Like literally on the couch crying when, Natalie is running in and she's just like, oh my goodness, we're doing so good. We had such great conversations. And, Shayna is on the couch, tears dropping down her eyes over Shane. Weak in the knees. Weak in the knees. I will say with Shane, I was not expecting that grown man to have a temper tantrum. I was not expecting him to have a full temper tantrum when he did that mix up with Natalie and Shayna, right? Because listen, we just have to be real here. Shane is more attracted to Shayna than he is to Natalie. Natalie is more bendable than Shayna, which is why he's going after that and a wife. Because let's be real here. He's looking for a wife. He's not, this experiment is to get a wife, not to get a girlfriend, not to get like a long-term relationship. I think if it was different, he would have went after Shayna, and I wouldn't be surprised if he goes after Shayna after this experiment is done. Anyway, when he mixes them up, right, and he mixes up Natalie and Shayna, and he gets in the part. He's like, I'm so excited to talk to you. I'm so happy. Natalie can't even get a word in because he is just going off like mouth vomiting about how much he enjoys talking to Shayna. So then Natalie realizes that he has been, that he's making leeway with somebody that's not just her, right? So she gets stuck for a minute, and then he's like, Shayna, what's going on? Can I hear you? And she's like, oh, this is actually Natalie. And Shayna's like, oh no. Oh no. And before Natalie can even respond, he's like, you're not mad at me, are you? It's been 48 hours. Why are you giving her attitude? And you confused her with somebody else. And before she could even respond to that, he's like, oh, come on. You can't be mad. Are you? No, let me do his voice. Come on. You can't be mad. Like, serious? You're mad? Really? Like, come on, you're acting like this? She can't even get a word out. And she's just like, let me just explain how I'm feeling right now because you led me on. I didn't lead you on. How could you say that? I didn't lead you on. And she's like, yes, you did. You did not let me know that you were also at the same place with another woman. You're talking about planning your future with me outside of the pod. You're talking about all the things that you want to do. So I'm thinking that me and you are in a different place than you are with somebody else. Truth be told, Natalie had never got that kind of excitement from Shane. So she felt some sort of way when she thought at first that he came in that room singing and happy, that he was talking about her, and then she realized he was singing somebody else's name. She had every right to be upset. She had every right to feel led on and disrespected, but he would not even allow her to sit in that. He broke that woman down so bad, she started crying. You've known this man for 48 hours and he got you in tears. 48 hours and he got you in tears. He's making you feel like you did something wrong. That's why he picked Natalie. He's making her feel like she did something wrong, and Natalie is taking that on. Like she's wrong for feeling let on. After all the things that he has said to her, she's wrong for feeling upset because the guy that that's talking about marrying her is coming in the pod singing another woman's name and so excited to talk to this woman, he won't shut up for 2 seconds to realize he's talking to Natalie. He broke her down so bad, left her sitting in that pod. He's throwing his markers and he's just like, man, I'm done with this. He leaves the pod after throwing markers. What the hell did them markers do to you? Leaves the pod also after telling her, you're number one in my book. You're number one in my book. I drew a heart by your name. What in the euphoria high is this? You guys are not kids. You are grown adults. Who cares if you drew a heart by my name? That doesn't mean anything. What means something is what you're telling me in the pods, right? What you're saying to me. Your words matter. I don't care about the damn notebook. That's what Natalie should have said, but she didn't. She just let him talk over her. She just let that man bulldoze her, and then she let that man walk out on her. Because that's what he did. After he bulldozed her, made her feel bad about herself, made her feel like she was the one that was wrong, he walked out on her. Girl, that is going to be your life. That is going to be your life. He showed you in 48 hours who he was. And you still went in the pod to talk to him again. Help us. Stand up. Stand up, Natalie. Stand up. I talked about Shayna already. Talked about Shayna. I talked about we talked about the plus size girls. Let's get into Danielle, who I love, right? She's just very insecure, very, very insecure. And I think that Danielle, forgive me, I have all the pictures and I'm just talking about these people. This is who I was talking about in the beginning. Natalie and Shane. These are the two people that I was talking about. Natalie is the poor pick-me that is weak in her knees. Shane is the Gary Busey character that all the women are falling in love with. Weirdo vibes. Weird, and I'm talking about the women. Y'all are weirdos. If that is the voice that gets you what? Amen. See Jesus. Anyway, I really like her. I really, really like Danielle. This is her partner, Nick, who's a sweet guy as well. Danielle is stunning. She doesn't know it, right? Because for the majority of her life, she has been plus size. And in America, if you're a plus size woman, they immediately call you, all kinds of names, make you feel ugly and unlovable. So she's still in that place. Although she has lost the weight to be accepted into society, she's still, because it doesn't, the only reason why I said it about Natalie is because she never said anything about her health. When she was talking about losing weight, she always talked about how she looked or how she felt, right? So when she finally loses weight, she still sees herself as that plus size woman who she didn't believe was valuable or deserving of love. So she still sees herself as that person. And that's why I think that she needs to get therapy, because not only is she dealing with body dysmorphia, she's also dealing with the guilt of, changing herself in a way to be accepted into a shallow society. So she's feeling all of that, and then to hop into a relationship, not just a relationship, a marriage with someone, I don't know, is the best thing. It was the best decision for her to make. And I like Nick. I like their conversations. I like that he is very delicate with her and understanding. Nick is thick. Nick is thick. And I think, as he get older, he will only get thicker. And I think somebody with body dysmorphia issues like Danielle, I don't know if that's going to be healthy for their relationship. I don't know if she's going to then start to treat him the way she was treated when she was plus size. So I don't know. I do like them right now, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure about their longevity. I will say, and maybe this was around the same time that Cameron proposed to Lauren, but I was a little caught off guard when he walked into her pod, when he walked into his pod and got on one knee. I was just like, how are you guys here so quickly? How are you guys? And maybe this is what season 1 was like, but I don't know. Maybe I was in a different place emotionally, but I'm like, I don't feel the butterflies. I didn't tear up for this engagement. It just seemed very rehearsed. I don't know. I just think that they needed more time to get to this place. I don't know if I believe that they're both at the point where they wanted to marry each other after the conversation that they have had in the pod. I could be wrong, but I just didn't feel it. I just didn't feel it. I will say the proposal was very sweet, though. It was very sweet. I didn't get teary-eyed, but it was sweet. And I was happy for Danielle. I really was. I was happy that, she had somebody to love her as she is now and maybe make her more, I hate to say this, but maybe make her love and appreciate herself more. I hate to say that another person loving this person will allow this person to see that they are worthy and deserving of love, but sometimes it happens that way. So I hope she starts to see herself the way Nick sees her and loves on herself a bit more. I will say last season, I thought they all had the same decision day, right? It seems like everybody on this season is having like random decision days, and it's throwing me off. I feel like it's throwing off the vibe. I feel like last season we had one episode where it was the proposals. Now it's just like when everybody is feeling froggy, they just leap to a proposal. It seems all over the place and not uniformed. I think this works better when the proposals are uniformed. This proposal just did not, the proposals this season did not work for me. Or maybe Nick is jumping the gun on production. Who knows? Before I get into episode 2, I want to talk to you guys a bit first about for about 10 minutes, talk about episode 1, and then we will get into episode 2. Let me put my timer on. Let's just talk for about 10 minutos. And then we'll get at episode 2. What the hell is that? There we go. Let's get into it. But I like them. So far, episode 1 and episode 2, this is my favorite couple. Things can change. And they will. Let me get some of your comments. Oh no, what's going on? Why can't I? Oh no, why can't I scroll down? Okay, I'm like, what is going on? I got some super chats to acknowledge too, so I will do that. But let me get some comments about this episode. Pseudo Chic said, I had to look up Shane when you said Gary Busey. I'm hollering. The Grace Report. It's all the Grace Report. Oh my God, it is. He is giving Beetlejuice. It is giving Beetlejuice. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Hey, Petita said, or they could or they should at least release the journey of the other contestants absolutely as extra episodes on YouTube or something. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what I get to, Sydney. Sydney said Shane is your typical gregarious frat boy that loves attention. Oh, his personality is trash. That boy loves some attention. And he just like eats it up. And the ladies just pile on, pile on. Like, this is why he's like this, ladies. Because y'all still will go out with him. Y'all still will give up the goods. Y'all will let that man and that weird voice into your Disneyland. Weirdo vibes, ladies. Weirdo vibes. Sydney also said the moment I heard Shane's voice, I would have been like, goodbye. Natalie was the only person who liked it. I will say, living in Cali, right? Especially LA, you know, going to the beach, there is like a surfer community. I will say, though, you know, the surfer dudes are hot. I get it. I absolutely get it. So I think that maybe a lot of the women thought that they were getting like a Matthew McConaughey. You know what I mean? I think they thought that they were getting like this a surfer, you know, guy with blonde hair and a buff bod, but like long blonde curly hair and a buff bod who like hangs 10 on the weekends. I think they thought that's what they were getting. You got nothing of the sort. Nothing of the sort. I will give them that, because that is, listen, you go down to Malibu Beach, you'll start thinking some things. You know, I almost got caught up. It happens. It happens. Especially when I'm like, yeah, Black Lives Matter. Oh gosh. Samantha said, I don't know why the other couples think they will get married. I don't see Natalie and Shane lasting at all. At all. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. Even if they do go all the way through it, I don't see this lasting at all. I don't see this lasting at all. Yep. I was going to talk about the next episode, but they absolutely trauma bonded, and that is a dangerous place to be in. Absolute dangerous place to be in. It could, like, trauma bonding can go good or bad, like, and good and like a good way, like good to the extreme and bad to the extreme. There is no in between with trauma bonding. Miss Brown Sugar said, or at least let us get a button on what happened to more people during the pods. Maybe you'll only follow the couples moving forward, but let's see what that experience was like for more than a handful, or just make the season longer. I don't understand this 8 and 9 episode season thing. Like, if you have something good, why can't we just go back to like 12, 12 or 14 seasons, 12 or 14 episodes? Like, it's okay. We're binge watching it anyway. Like, it's okay. If it's good, we will watch. We grew up watching 22 episode a season TV shows. 14 episodes won't break us. It'll actually feel very normal. Very, very normal. Oh yes, I remember the black guy with the tall black guy with the beard. I remember that. Yeah, there were a lot of couples they just didn't follow. I wish they would have. Yeah, Joe was cute. But I did find out that he did get engaged. Let me get Pseudo said, not to mention what someone does for a living if they have a job or plays into who they are. You can see he or she save. Come on, these are proper adult questions. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Yes, Rara. Rara said, talking about Shane, he said he had a better emotional connection with Natalie. He meant the one he thought would dote on him. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. Denard, she is down super bad. Yes, Angela. Shane likes a lot of affirmation. Absolutely. Absolutely. And because Shayna would not give that to him, he moved on to Natalie, who was always number 2. I don't care him saying, yeah, I put you in my book and there's a heart next to your name. She was always number two because she was not who he actually wanted, but she was but Shayna was but Natalie was who he could control. Oh, and Tilly said, I think that Shayna thinks she looks better than Natalie and just wants to be chosen. Are we gonna go there? I also think that Shayna can't believe that Natalie is her competition. Let's move on. You picking up what I'm putting down? Okay. Okay. Oh, Robert also said, was she mad over Shane or does she usually win in these situations? I think that's what it is. Absolutely. Irene said this season needs to be called Y'all Be Winking the Knees. Stand up. Absolutely. Oh gosh. Sydney said Shane gaslighting her and trying to make her feel bad for being upset and then walks out like, sir, that is her future. That is going to be her future with that man. Hey, Dr. Rim. Dr. Rim said Shayna threw a hissy fit and got with the other dude to get back at Shane. Shane also threw a tantrum. To be honest, Shane and Shayna were meant to be together with all the tantrums. I'm telling you, they are kindred spirits. They are the same thing. And in this situation, them being together would actually work. Hey, Miss Gigi. Miss Gigi said, yes, when Shane had that outburst, I would have been done. Who does he think he is? Basura? Absolutely. And straight women every day are diving to hell, the bottom of hell, to get that bar, coming up with the no good man and third degree burns all over our bodies. Somebody save us. Save us, Lord. Ooh, oh, we are in a bad situation. Listen, it's a comment in here. I can't click on it, but you picking up what I'm putting down? You picking up what I'm putting down? You picking up what I'm putting down until he said, girl, the heart by your name was a mess, like y'all kids. And I couldn't believe he walked out and left her like that. He showed her who he is, and she, we'll get into it, but she stayed. That was such a metaphor, right? Him getting upset after berating her and making her feel bad for something he did, and then walking out on her, and she is sitting there waiting for him to come back. Whew. Natalie, that was prophetic. That was prophetic because even after that, the fact that you weren't the first person to walk out, the fact that he walked out on you after he treated you like that, girl, girl. Miss Gigi said, yes, Shane, definitely a gaslight, gives me abusive. How do you turn that around and blame her abusive? Ciao. Um, Tony said, weirdly enough, wait, I'll leave this comment for when we talk. Okay. Oh God. Hey Cameron. Cameron, this is the first comment I see of you. Well, he talks about it later in the season. He got his teeth done. So these teeth are new for him. He said that he spent like $1,000 on his teeth. So I think he probably did this for the show. And now he's trying to work with these new teeth. Whenever you get new teeth, especially new frontals, you need some time. You just cannot come back. You got to work on them. There's actual exercises that you need to do when you get I don't know if he got implants or veneers. It seems like he probably got veneers, but I think he probably should have waited for another season because he is talking with them teeth. Let me get some Danielle comments. BB said Danielle needs a patient person. She does. I think she got it in Nick. I think she got it in Nick, but only time will tell. We are not skipping ahead, family. Absolutely stunning, but she doesn't know it. She doesn't know it. When she looks in the mirror, she sees the plus size woman that was mistreated, and she's still there, which is why he just it's never a smart thing to lose weight for another person, to change your body in any form for another person, for society, for a job, for a certain um, class or group you want to get into. It never changing yourself like that. It never works for you, right? Because at the end of the day, that self good, that self gut, that self guilt, that internalized hate for yourself eats you alive, and it plays on your mind, and you start to see things that are not there. So Danielle, what we see, Danielle doesn't see. Danielle does not see. Even when she was plus size, she probably was still stunning, but she probably looked in the mirror and hated what she saw. And when she still looks in the mirror, she hates what she sees, which is why if you're ever going to change your body, if you're ever going to do anything to change or enhance or whatever you think concerning your body, your face or whatever, do it for you, because you will never be satisfied with the results. Danielle will never be satisfied because she never did it for her. She never did it for her. She did whatever she did to herself. She did it for other people, and she will never be satisfied because you cannot please people enough. Poor thing. Poor thing. Hey, Donovan. Donovan said Danielle needs time to heal. Her man will need so much patience dealing with her. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me get into the super chat from Drea. Thank you so much, Drea. Drea said, hey, Nikki, all these couples are a mess, in my opinion. That is the voice that is... Hashtag, that is the voice that is getting your voice. Thank you so much, Drea, for the super chat. Ching, ching. Thank you. And Tilly said, I like Nick. He seems to be a good listener and a nice person. Me too. We ain't skipping ahead. I agree. We just had to skip a bit ahead, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay. Oh, gosh. So much tea. Oh, Lord. So... He's like, oh, gossip, drama, and mess. Where are we going to talk about it? Let me get my tea and I'll come join you. That is Nick. That is Nick. I still don't think it makes him a bad person, but child, a gossiping man, messy. Hey, Samantha. Samantha said last season, Lauren and Cameron love story was definitely genuine and you could feel their love. These couples this season seem surface and superficial. Absolutely agree. Sebastian, thank you for the super chat. Ching ching. Sebastian said, LOL, we're vaccine boosted now. The instant romance don't hit the same anymore. I think that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Oh, okay. Dr. Rim said, I think decision day was made the same day, but they showed it differently depending on when and how fast the couples made their commitment to each other. That would make sense. That would make sense. Oh, Brittany said the proposals were staggered like this time, like this last year too. Okay, I remembered it differently, but thank you, Brittany. Hey, K Pratt, thank you so much for the super chat. Ching ching. K Pratt said if Danielle gets therapy, she and Nick will work. I happen to agree. With you. Hey, Waddles. Waddles says season 1 was like that too. The proposals happened during the span of 2 to 3 episodes, not just one. Okay. Good to know. Hey, Spency. Spency said, I died when he got mad at Natalie for being upset for mistaking her. His laugh is awful and very creepy. I was so mortified for her. She couldn't even speak to him. Like she was trying to interject, and he was like, no, no. Let me have my moment. He's a child, a whole child. What's up, Junior? Junior said Cameron and Lauren got engaged. Really? On episode 1, but it happened in a span over 6 days. The pace of season 2 just seems so off for some reason. Oh wow! I need to go watch that again. I don't remember that. Listen, the pandemic had me in a different space. Lockdown had me in a different space. Samantha, I was talking about looks, not accent. Hey Waddles, thank you so much for the super chat. Ching ching. Waddle said Shane looks exactly how he sounds. Take it how you will. Waddles, I get surfer. I get surfer. I really, really do. It's okay. I get it. I get it. Hey, Master Junior. Master Junior said, hey, Nikki and Peeps. I'm disappointed this season. All of these couples are settling. Listen, my little sister was watching this and she was just like, oh, this is terrible. She was so disappointed because it was me and my little sister, my mom and my older sister, we watched this show and we binge watched it in one Saturday and we were like crying and emotional. This season is very different. Very, very different. Very, very different. Kayla Lee said the top people I don't like is Shane, Shake, Shayna, Danielle and Nick. Really? Natalie should have known Shane was gaslighting her. I think at some point you just settle. And I think that's what Natalie did. I think that's what Natalie did. I think that's exactly what she did. Denard said, body dysmorphia is a dangerous mind game. I have it. And I agree. I had to learn to do things weight wise for myself. Yeah. Yep. I lost weight for a guy. Not me telling my business. Oh, well. Hey, Star family. I lost like 20 pounds for a guy. It was the worst experience of my life. Gaining that weight back was the best experience of my life. And I was already very, like, this is when mama was a 6. Okay. I dropped down to like a 4.2. Never again. I was very young, family, just so you know. My the frontal lobe, my brain wasn't fully developed. So give me a pass. Anyway, that was the most miserable time of my life. And the worst thing about it was everybody was telling me how good I looked. You know the hell that I was going through because I had this dude in my head telling me that I needed to lose more weight. And I was, oh my gosh, everybody, my church, my job, my friend, like oh my God, my mother was the only one. She was just like, what's going on? What's going on? I was like, no, I'm fine. Everybody thinks I look great. My head was huge. I look back at them pictures and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was going through it and nobody knew. Never again. Let me tell you something. If I lose weight, it's for me. And please, especially if I lose weight, I just want to let you know, if I ever get back down to a size C, the girls will be on display. I miss my size C boobies, my C cup boobies like never before. These D, E, F, G, these Z titties is too much for me. I can't. That is probably one of the only reasons I would do it. Oh, the girls will be on display. Oh, they will be on every live. You're gonna be like, oh my God, Nikki, can you put the titties up? Nope. Absolutely not. Anyway, enough of share time. Let's get into episode 2. Let's get into episode 2. Let's talk about it. Let's give them something to talk about. Danielle is completely in love with Nick. Not only is he the love of her life, he's her best friend. I still don't remember it happening this fast last season. Like, how are you guys here? What we must have been in such a starved bubble. Like, we were probably so thirsty for love that we just accepted this behavior last season. But this is just so weird to me now. Like, how is he your best friend? Yeah, he's my best friend. I'm head over heels in love with him, and he's my best friend. Really? I know your best friend probably at home watching this show, like, excuse me? How did it happen this fast? I just don't remember it like this last season. I really, really don't. And now that I'm thinking about it, this show just doesn't seem like a smart idea. How did it get so popular? This is not a smart idea. I really am torn, right? Because I really like Jared and Ayanna, but they're still at this point in episode 2. They're in the friend zone, and he's getting hot and spicy with Mallory, and it's really weird to see how different their pods are because Ayanna is falling for Jared rather quickly. And he is, I won't say he's leading her on, but she's also not aware that Mallory is so far ahead of her in Jared's heart than she is. So that was very, very concerning. And the same thing that Mallory's doing. Mallory does not let Salvador know that, you know, all the stuff that they're doing is great, but there's competition. There's competition. Maybe next season, since this show is going to be so messy, maybe the producers need to throw that in there and be like, well, you have to tell your second choice that there's somebody that's in the top spot. If we're going to be messy, let's go full messy. Let's do it. This was not funny, but Shayna, not you getting your life seeing Natalie fall apart over Shane. Did you see when Natalie came running in crying? and the ladies were asking her how she, Ayanna, I think, was asking her how she's doing. And then she's okay. She's like, no, I'm not okay. I need a minute. I need a moment. And Shayna knew that she was just talking to Shane. And the camera guy cuts to Shane, and she's like, I would have been, you know, I would have been rejoicing inside, but I would have never been so obvious. Like, you could have at least looked like you were trying to hold in a smirk or been like, oh my God, something. But you were getting your over Shane. Girl, bye. Pathetic. She was getting her life. The bar is in hell. Then after that, right? So, because that's at the beginning of episode 2. The next time Natalie talks to Shane, first of all, why was there a next time? After he did that, I would have been like, well, I don't want to talk to him anymore. I want to focus on other relationships. But Natalie didn't focus on other relationships. And that is the problem. You heard this guy's voice. You probably guessed what he looked like. And you just stopped and was like, this is what I want. This is what I want. And you did not invest in any other relationship. And that is unfortunate for you because there are probably a lot of guys there who are more compatible and who would have treated you better, but they didn't have the voice that you were looking for because the voice probably didn't look like the promise to you. Unfortunately, you ended up with Shane. Anyway, so the next time she talks to him, she goes in the room and there's Rose and she's like, oh my God, what is this? And Shane's like, you see the rose? Yeah, I got that for you because I'm like uber sorry. She's like, oh, Shane, you did this? Natalie. Oh, God, it was so embarrassing. And then they have this whole conversation and he barely apologizes. Barely. And then he was just like, yeah, I wanna make you my girl. I wanna make you my girlfriend. And Natalie, for Shane. So then she bursts out of the pods, runs back into the room, and she's just like, and of course the other ladies have to be like, what's going on? He just asked me to be his girlfriend. Shane. First of all, you didn't even realize that he asked you to be his girlfriend on a show where he should be proposing to you to be his wife. He's testing you to see what you will settle for, and you passed the test flying colors. Flying colors for Shane. You failed the test for your ancestors and for women across the globe, dead and alive, because he tested you to see if you would settle for less, because the woman he really wants will not. The woman he really wants will not settle for less, but you will. And he tested you, and you passed his test with flying colors. I want more for you, but do you want more for you, Natalie? Do you want more for you? Before I move on, let me get into the super chat from Yasmin. Ching ching. Yasmin said, "Hey Nikki, have you ever watched The Circle?" No, I have not, but I've heard it was good. If there's a new season, would you review it? Love from London. I don't know. I haven't checked it out. I heard it was good. My little sister loves it. If I have time, I'll check it out to see if I'm into it. And if there's another season, who knows? We will see. Thank you so much for the super chat, Yasmin. So anyway, after this, Shania has now become engaged. Wait, did she get engaged to Kyle yet? Where are we at? Hold on, because I didn't even get into deep tea. Hold on. Okay, we're not there yet. Anyway, when Shane was talking about in hhis confessional, he was talking about how he was falling more for Natalie. He then says, I want Shania. Wait, what's her name? Shania. Who the hell is Shania? I keep on mixing this name up. Anyway, he was saying that he wanted Shayna to fight for him. What are you talking about?
I just want Shayna to fight for it, right? Like Natalie goes after it. She lets me know that she wants me. I want Shayna to fight for it.
What are you doing in the confessionals to make her know that you want her? What are you doing to make Natalie know that you want her? Nothing. Everything is about you. Everything is about you getting affirmation from the women. You are not reciprocating. You are not reciprocating the same thing, but you want this from other women, from the women that you are supposed to be courting. Do you realize, guys, that Shane is being courted? He has not courted anyone. Shane is being courted by Natalie and Shayna. Wow. Let's get into deep tea and Shaq real quick. Shaq is gross. And there's no way that he was on during the casting session of this show. There was no way that they thought that he would be a good husband. None of them thought that. Whoever casted him on this show knew that he would be this guy. And knew that he would be awful to these women, and knew that he would probably get a woman who has body dysmorphia or body image issues. And you get that in deep tea. Unfortunately, she's a beautiful woman. Her and Shaq both have body image issues. We come to find out later in the episode. But when it first starts off, these two are both looking, let's be real, let's tell the truth for Shane the devil. These two are both looking for white partners. What the hell is going on? And the thing about it is, and maybe it's because I'm Black, especially, African American. We just don't say that. We just don't say that we've only dated like the men. But it's like the Black men that have already been banished from the tribe. So he's always going to talk crazy. We're never going to listen to him, right? But normally, for sensible Black Americans, we just don't go around telling people that we don't date our people. or that we've never dated our people, or that we've never been with a Black person. Like, unless you're like, Breonna Taylor, the DA that didn't prosecute the cops for Breonna Taylor, unless you're one of those, the rest of us, the ones that the ancestors are proud of, even if we do that, we don't say that. Like, we don't put it on Front Street, but like, oh, I've never kissed a Black person, because the Black community would be like, what's wrong with you? You ain't never been interested in. What's going on, right? And all of a sudden, we start acting funny around you because we don't trust you. Because what's up with you that you don't want to be bothered with us? What's going on, right? The fact that these two are just so comfortable. Like, yeah, Shaq is like, oh yeah, I want a blonde woman. I like a nice white girl. And DT's like, yeah, I've only been with a white man. I've never even kissed a brown person. Yeah. You can say that and be okay. Like, you can say that and go back to your community. Ciao. Things are different. It was just really like jarring to me, because I'm like, you will be getting dragged in the Black community if you said something like that. But they were just very comfortable. And it seemed like it was like a normal thing, especially for second or third generation South Asians, right? It seemed like that was like normal for them to say. Like, it wasn't like a pause or anything, and not even a realization. It was just like, yeah, white. That's what I wanted. That's what I've been with. All right. Well, oh, okay. Anyway, when these two started talking, I don't know why, maybe, I don't know what was going on in my spirit where I caught this, but I immediately knew that these two will link up because of culture. I'm telling you guys, that is the only thing that is keeping Deep T and Shaq together. Culture. I think it's the fact that their parents, their family would love for them to marry another South Asian person. And I think that's what they're doing. I don't think that there was anything that attracted either one to the other, aside from the fact that they were both South Asian. That is what I'm getting, because they were having terrible conversations until culture came up. And it was like, oh, okay, there it is. And I immediately just saw the wheels turning for the both of them. I don't think this is a match made in heaven. I don't think this is a match made on earth. This is a match made in hell. There is nothing positive that will come out of this. Deep T is going to go through it with this man, because when you were talking to him, and you have already talked to him about your body image issues, and he says to you, "Kid, are you thin enough for me to put on my shoulders? Are you going to be too heavy for me to put on my shoulders?" Did you see Deep T crumble when he said that? And then she starts like scratching her arm. What's happening is she's uncomfortable, and that uncomfortable energy is going in different parts of her body. It's because you can see her go from, she's like this, and then you can see her go from hair to hair, and then she's just starting to do stuff on her body, starts messing with her neck, because he has made her completely uncomfortable about her body, which is something she has already struggled with. Because I don't see a woman like Deep T sitting there and entertaining a man like Shaq, unless he's another South Asian man and she is at marrying and childbearing age. That's what I'm getting. Because there's no way that Deep T has found anything that Shaq has said in the confessionals attractive. No way. Absolutely not. I will say this. He does start to get try to get a little bit of a redemption arc when Deep T expresses to him that she didn't like how he has been talking about, women of a particular size because of the things that she has struggled with. And then he admits that he also is somebody who struggled with his weight when he was younger. So maybe he was projecting a lot of how he felt, and a lot of stuff that he's starting to realize that he was saying that he shouldn't say. He's realizing that that's wrong. I'm not buying that, right? I honestly think that probably a producer sat down and was just like, you're not going to get picked. A lot of the ladies are complaining about you because of the awful things that you were saying. If you want, and I think they only did this because they wanted to have a successful South Asian couple or coupling or, interracial coupling on this show for diversity. I think they told him he has to change it up because I do not believe, from what we've seen of this man, that all of a sudden 24 hours ago, he was this chauvinistic pig. Today, he's this enlightened man and he knows everything and he's such a better guy and he gets it and he realizes that he was wrong. I'm not buying it. I do not think that is who he is. I think that is who he was coached to be. Before I go on, let me acknowledge a super chat from Molly. Thank you so much, Molly, for the super chat. Ching, ching. Thank you, sis. I didn't miss anything else, right? I got Yasmin. Absolutely. We got it. Thank you so much, Molly. And I feel so bad for Deep T because he's honestly a disaster, but I think she's going to try to make it work with Shaq because he's, is it Shaq or Shake? Shake Shack. I think she's going to try to make it work with Shake Shack because he is a South Asian man. I also want to say this. Did you notice how, and I think he has a lot more internalized self-hate than Deep T. But did you know, because I don't think she has internalized self-hate. I think that Deep T just grew up and around, surrounded by a certain culture. And that's what she adapted to because that's what a lot of people do, especially when you are first, second, or third generation. You adapt to the culture here because you don't want to be othered. Nobody likes to be othered. So I think that's what she was doing. I think Shake Shack has self-hate. I really, really do, because when he's talking to Deep T, he shortens her name to Deep. He shortens his name to Shake Shack because he's making it easier for people to pronounce his name. Even when we meet him, his name is Shaq. Or is it Shake? Shake. His name is Shake. And then he tells us what his birth given name is, and then we see it that one time and then we don't see it again, probably at his request. I think that's what his issue is. This is why parents, I know there are a lot of parents who want to give their kids the best education and raise them in the best neighborhoods. Just because a neighborhood is not impoverished or working class does not make it a better neighborhood. Although your kid might not be dealing with extreme poverty and lack of educational resources, they're going to be dealing with something much deeper, right? Racial trauma, feeling unloved and ugly and unattractive, swallowing who they are to be accepted by the ruling class where they are, dealing with body issues, probably coming from a culture that celebrates a heavier woman, but being surrounded by a culture that does not, or a heavier man, right? And being around a culture that does not, dealing with, let's be real, if black, brown, whatever, the police don't really discriminate. Okay, if you're dark, you're gonna get it. So also dealing with that, being a brown person, not being able to walk in your neighborhood where not a lot of the people look like you because it's just not safe. That racism is traumatic, right? I get parents want to give their kids the best, but I think a lot of parents who do that need to unpack what they think the best is, because you're going to be sacrificing something. And which one are you willing to sacrifice? That's something to think about. Anyway, so let's get into Shayna. Wait, am I skipping ahead? Because when I start talking about this, okay, yeah, I'm not skipping ahead. Let's get into Shayna and Kyle. Shayna and Kyle, they're both settling. This, let me put up the picture. This is Deep T and Shake Shack. She could do better on her worst day. I'm now talking about Shayna and Kyle. This is a sad coupling. A sad coupling because I think the both of them, I think Shayna did not match who she wanted to match with. And Kyle just didn't match with anybody. It didn't seem like any of the ladies were liking him. And I think these two just both settled. And this is a settling relationship, which is why when Kyle proposes to Shayna, she's absolutely uncomfortable. absolutely uncomfortable because this is not who she really wants to be with. And truth be told, it's not who Kyle wants. Shayna is not who Kyle wants to be with. But there's no other options. Who Shayna wants is not available at this point because he has a whole girlfriend. Who Kyle wants, we will never know because nobody really paid him any attention except for Shayna because Kyle turned off a lot of the ladies. So this proposal was beyond cringeworthy. Beyond cringeworthy. He's acting all excited about proposing to her, and I'm looking like, how did you get here? Because your pod conversations, it's looking like a lot of bullying is going on. It's not a lot of romancing, right? So it's a lot of ball breaking, not a lot of romancing. So he proposes to her, and she knows it's going to happen because he says to her, he says, "Look, do you see something there?" And she looks down and she sees the ring box, and she immediately looks over at the producer and goes, like, what you want me to do? Because she doesn't want to be with this guy. And he's like, are you going to open the box? And she's like, you want me to? Girl, it's an engagement ring. You know what it is. If this is somebody you wanted to be with, you would be so excited. She's sitting there, legs crossed, arms crossed, not wanting to touch this box. So she finally gets the ring box, opens it up, and he's like, what do you think? And she's like, and then he just starts talking about how great she is and how this is the perfect fit for him. And then he proposes to her, and she's like, it's so crazy. He is up and excited and proposing to this woman in one pod. She's in the other pod freaking out because this is not what she wants. But instead of walking away from this show and toying with this man's emotions, you stayed on. You're a grown woman and you made that decision. You did not want him. You did not want to be married to him. The guy that you wanted was on to somebody else. So you still entertain that conversation. What you should have did, Shayna, was say, you know what? Talk to the producers and say, you know what? The guy that I wanted, I can't get there with him. I don't have a connection with anybody else, so let me leave. I think that's what this whole cast should have done. Unfortunately, they all settled for people who reciprocated just a bit of what they were giving out. And this is why we're getting the season that we are getting. So at the end of this whole thing, Shayna accepts Kyle's proposal, and Kyle is very happy, and she is freaking out because this is not what she wanted to do. Then after that, she talks to Shane, who she really wanted to be with. And I'm thinking that she's going to tell him that she got engaged, right? First of all, why is Shane, now that he has a girlfriend, after they got into it about him having a girlfriend, why is he now still entertaining conversations? Look at this. Shane has a whole girlfriend. He is still entertaining conversations with Shayna. This is his second conversation with her now after he made Natalie his girlfriend, right? So he's like, Shayna, what are you going to say? Because he was so, guys, he walked in that room singing her name again, so excited to talk to her. Shayna. No, Shayna, what are you going to say, Shayna? What are you going to say? What are you going to say, Shayna? And she's like, well, I just wanted to tell you that I do have very strong feelings for you. He's like, no, Shayna, don't say it. It's too late. It's too late, Shayna. He really thinks that he is the prize, and that is the problem. That is the problem. Men are not the prize. It's us. It's us. But this man is walking around like he's the prize because he has these two women fighting for him. And it seems like a lot of other women on the show were fighting for him as well. Gross. But he tells her that it's too late. My thing is, you have a girlfriend, Shayna, you are engaged. Why are y'all still talking? Because I thought that she was going to tell him that. How do you tell him that after you are engaged? Or maybe the show was playing with editing, and maybe this was before she got engaged to Kyle. And maybe that's why she accepted Kyle's engagement. Either way, it's this whole situation is just so messy. Everybody on this show has settled. Everybody on this show has settled. I would not be surprised if none of these couples are together after this show. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. This is the Love is Blind season 2, the settling season, because everybody has settled for their third, fourth, 10th choice. Nobody has went after their number one. So anyway, in this episode as well, Shake Shack and Deep Tea see each other for the first time. So they get engaged. Who shocked? Who shocked? I knew she was going to say yes. Disappointed. The proposal, bars in hell. But they get engaged, and then they are the first couple to actually see each other. So the door opens. I will say, Shake Shack was a lot taller than I anticipated. And I hate that I was like, oh, I hate that. I hate that because I'm better, but I'm a height hoe as well. So y'all know I got my issues. I'm working on them. Pray for me. Anyway, so we see Shake Shack come out and meet Deep Tea. And the way he is talking about her, she's so excited. She's like, and she's walking towards him. He's like, oh my God, yes. Oh my God. Oh, she looks so good. Oh my God. And he just starts grabbing her body, grabbing her. He's like, oh, the booty, the booty. He's like kissing her and everything. And I'm like, oh, this is uncomfortable. This is uncomfortable. But Deep Tea, again, I get pick me. She was just very excited for, she's like, oh my goodness. And they're like kissing or whatever. And at this point, they are in newly engaged bliss. Things change. I did skip a bit ahead, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll talk about it more in episode 3. I will say this though. I do think that Shayna, and we talked about it a bit earlier, I do think that she accepted Kyle's engagement just so that she could get married to see Shane on the honeymoon when all the couples get together. Isn't that weird and sick? But I think that's what a lot of other couples are doing, and we'll talk about it later. But I think that's why she said yes to Kyle, so that she can see Shane. So you say yes to this man, you're legally going to marry him so that you can see Shane on the couple's honeymoon. This is not season 1. This is not season 1, baby. Anyway, let me get into your conversations because that's all I wanted to talk about with episode 2. Cameron says the Circle UK is better than the US version. I didn't even know there was a UK version. There's always like UK and US spinoffs. My thing is, you can just do a UK show. Americans will watch. And Tilly said, I was like girlfriend talking about Shane and Natalie. For why? Shaking my head, a mess. Right? She's your girlfriend, and then you're going to turn around and propose to her. Like, what? What is that? What is that? He made her his girlfriend to keep her in a holding spot. To keep her in a holding spot and see if she would accept less. And she did. And she did. Thank you, Shonda. Please like the video, fam, and subscribe to get NikkiStar TV to 14K subscribers. We're so close. We're so close. Please keep on liking and sharing my content if you want to. No pressure. No pressure, but pressure. Hey, Pseudo says there's always one person willing to settle for less. A damn shame. This whole cast has done it. And I honestly think that a lot of them, aside from Shayna, I think she settled so that she can get to see Shane. But I think this whole majority of the cast settled to be a part of the show. They're what is her name? They're Alyssa or Married at First Sight. They just want to be a part of the experience. They want the check and they want the experience. So they will go through this entire process, lead their partner on, manipulate their partner, just so that they can be on this TV show until it wraps. Not surprised at all. Shonda also said, let's be social with Nikki on Instagram. Here is my Instagram tags and Twitter tags. Follow me if you would like to. S. Raj says, clocked it. Gary Busey, LOL. He is funny looking to me, but Nat thinks he is so cute. She'd have picked me. He could have looked like anything. He could have looked like Shrek. She still would have been in. Shane is very needy, Rara. He is very needy. BB said, wow, Barnett was better. Wasn't he? We thought it couldn't get any worse than Bennett. And he turned out to actually be a really good guy. But wow. Absolutely not ready. He's here for the show. He is absolutely here for the show. He is the Olu. He is Olajuwon, on Married at First Sight. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey Samantha. Samantha said, I was like running away, running away from your culture much. That's what I think is actually happening. But I think, unfortunately, Shake and Deep Tea have a lot of issues concerning their culture from probably being raised in a place where they were the minority. I mean, they're in a nation where they're the minority, but at least raise your kids around people that look like them. It is very imperative, especially in America, to raise people of color children in places where they are seen, where they can see themselves, where they can see themselves in various aspects of life, where their teachers look like them, mentors look like them. It's imperative just because of how this nation is. It's unfortunate that how race is perverted in this nation, but it is. And for the safety and the sanity of your children, you just have to make sure you raise them where they can see themselves. If not, you're going to get a lot of traumatized adults who are going to end up on Love is Blind, and they're going to embarrass you and your family. Embarrass you and your family. Listen, I grew up in the hood. I went to really good schools. I went to really good schools. There are good schools in the hood. You just have to look for the ones that get the most funding from the state. Let's just tell the truth and shame the devil. Rara said Nikki was right on the Grace report. Shake is just trying to switch careers. Absolutely. He's going from being the DJ, which is why I think he let us know that his name is Shake the DJ, because he's trying to get booked from this. And he's trying to become this reality TV show star, and really trying to make a name for himself. I wouldn't be surprised if he started acting or doing comedy. I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised if he starts doing stand-up sets in his neighborhood. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. Alaskan BL Tundra. Alaskan BL Tundra said he's in his 30s, a DJ. Yeah. So festivals. That's still very white with the attendees. It depends on what festival. I know I can never get to Afropunk. I've been trying to get there, not for the music. I'm going there for the men. Let's be honest. We're going there for the men and the fashion. Let's tell the truth. Let's tell the truth. Hopefully, I can go this year. Hopefully. She absolutely needs to run away, but I don't know if she will. I don't know if she will. JS said Shake's response to Deep Tea telling him about her past body issues and how his focus on physical appearances bothered her was very telling. He made it all about himself. The flags were scarlet. Talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it. Hey, Melissa. Melissa said Deep Tea took all the red flags and started a carnival. My God, today. She absolutely did. Again, I think it's culture. I think it's culture. I think if Shaq was of another culture, Shake was of another culture, I don't think she would have stayed. I don't think she would have stayed, but she probably was just like, this is, my one shot at having a marriage and kids with a South Asian man. I need to do it. I need to do it. Sarah said Deep Tea is choosing to settle for Shake because they share the same culture. Absolutely. They are not compatible, and Shake is looking to help his DJ career. Absolutely. Absolutely, Alaskan Tundra. 1000% produced. 1000% produced. There's no way that he had this epiphany and revelation all of a sudden. One pod session and he's a different person. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Lisa said, not sure if it was said, But Shake said he's opening his own vet clinic, so man needs cash equals staying on the show long enough for a max payout. I think this might be one of the situations where they're lying about their jobs, or not lying, where the show is giving them job descriptions like they do on The Bachelor and Bachelorette. I think that he's probably a DJ. I think that's probably what he does. And I think that, him saying the whole vet clinic stuff, I think that was a way for him to seem like a bit more responsible than he really is. Oh, really? Tony said the name thing is normal though in terms of shortening. Many people do that here. Tony is speaking about in Canada. Okay. Well, just know in America, it's just because, people don't want to take time to learn how to pronounce somebody's name. It's used as a way of making them feel unvalued. Like you're not valuable enough for me to learn how to say your name, and your name is difficult, right? So we'll give you an American name, which is normally a white American name, right? But who was it? I think Udobo. She's the actress from Orange is the New Black. She wanted to shorten her name when she was a kid, and her mom was like, "No, they're going to know how to pronounce your name. If they can pronounce Xander, they can pronounce your name." And I'm not mispronouncing her name. I just forgot her name, and I think it's Adobo. I could be wrong, but y'all please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Shake, that's his name. His name is Shake the DJ. Red flag right there. Oh my goodness. They probably hated each other by the time the pictures were taken. They probably hated each other by the time the pictures were taken. Hey, JLB, what's up, sis? How you doing? You're right on time. Thank you, Tracy. Shout out to the NikkiStar replay gang. Do I have my shirt on backwards? Oh no, I just stretched it out. This is how much I wear this thing. Shout out to the NikkiStar replay gang. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and share the channel to your social medias. Thank you so much, family. Hey, Candace. Candace said, I think Shayna only wants Shane because someone else does. She think he's too fine. She's too fine to lose Shane to someone else. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. But I also think that her and Shane have a lot in common. A lot in common. And I think that he will probably be the type of guy that she would normally go for. Hey, Whitney. Whitney said, did you notice how far she was backing away from him? Is that Shayna in the pod? Or are we moving on? Are we moving on to episode 3? Hey, Aurelia. Aurelia said, I don't think this is a match made in heaven. I don't think it's a match made on earth. It's a match made in heaven. Nikki, you have the best quotes. Thank you. And I hate that I'm right. I hate that I'm right. Poor Deep Deep. She deserves better. There needs to be a Love is Blind redo. There really, really does need to be. Yes, Sydney, talking about Shayna. She literally could have said no, and yet here we are. She could have said no, but then she'd be off the show. And she wouldn't meet Shane. Whoo, child. Hey, Soka Addict. Soka Addict said she stayed because she wanted to beat him in person. Who? Kyle or Shane? I think it's Shane. Hey, Terry. Terry said, where was you when that Portia Family Matters trash was on? I wanted to hear your commentary on it. Oh, Terry, you haven't been here. my aunt died the Saturday before that episode, the season finale. So I had to, go back to Philly and, do the whole shebang. And it was, it was unexpected. So it was a difficult time. I'm only laughing because it's so awkward. So I had to take some time off for that. I know. I know you guys want our final thoughts, but I just feel like it's been so long. Me and my mom might do a quick thing. And you know what? I think I want to do a reality TV chat with my mom, and we'll talk about that in there. Maybe if that's good enough. Samantha said, Shayna did not want to marry him. Lord, religion is a huge factor that you can't just skate by and see what happens. This is the thing. Was religion a huge factor for Shayna? She never brought it up with Shane. Only brought it up with Kyle. And I think the only reason why she brought it up with Kyle is because Kyle was apprehensive to religion because she brought it up once and he paused. So she knew that was a problem for him. And I think she was trying to sabotage it so that she doesn't have to be the one to break up with him. Because a lot of women do that. A lot of women do that, myself included, but I'm growing and I'm doing better. I think that that's maybe what it is. Because I'm just like, if religion is such a big thing for you, why do we never hear you talking about that with Shane? And of course, the producers can cut out a lot, but the way she talked about religion all the time with Kyle, something up. Something up. The Supernet said this season is already a wash. The only couple that might be worth something is Danielle and the white guy, Danielle and Nick. Danielle and Nick. I think they might be the ones. And Tilly said, Nikki, you are so right. My siblings and I grew up around family and people that look like us. When we moved, my bro wanted to spike his hair and asked us to call him Ryan instead of his actual name, Rashad. Listen, that happens. That's why when Aquafina was talking about this is the neighborhood that she grew up in, so she talks like that. That's why in the beginning, for a lot of us who are not from that part of Queens, was like, this is pretty much believable. Until people from Queens was just like, girl, stop lying. Nobody talks like that in this area. There is not a large Black population in this area. There's no way that you can speak like that because let's be real. For a lot of immigrant communities who move to, the United States of America, you are put in a lot of working class neighborhoods, and a lot of working class neighborhoods are full of people of color because you're put in those neighborhoods because you can't really afford the, wealthy white community. So if you're going to be in any kind of neighborhood, you're probably going to be in one where there are a lot of people of color because you won't necessarily feel safe in being in a white working class community because, welcome to America, right? So, and also you're going to emulate the most popular culture from the place in which you are living, right? If you're going to try to acclimate yourself into society and not be othered or try to get along to not be bothered, you're going to adopt the most popular culture. And what is the most popular culture in the United States of America? African American. So that does happen, right? That's why I don't really, I only call out people who are explicitly playing a minstrel of my culture when it's just so obvious. But there are white people I grew up with in the hood, right? Who sound just like Fezco from Euphoria. But it's not something that's been put on. That's White Mike. White Mike grew up in North Philly. He gonna sound like that, right? So it happens. You know what I mean? Chinese Key from South Philly. He gonna sound like that because he's from South Philly. So that happens, right? But when you do it, when you start to erase who you are and put on this acceptable culture for at least where you live and deny all that starts to become a trauma because this is who you are. You cannot change that. You need to be able to be proud of who you are. And if you're raising your kids in areas where they do not like themselves, they cannot see themselves, they're not proud of who they are, you're doing your child a disservice because they're going to grow up to be an adult. They got a lot of freaking problems. And then some wife is going to have to deal with that, self-hating husband. Some husband is going to have to deal with this wife with body image issues. And these kids are going to be caught up in the mix, not knowing who they are, what to do, getting schooled on who they are on TikTok. And falling apart. Wake up, parents. Wake up. Hey, Tartar. Tartar said, can we talk about how she allowed this man to eat meat after not eating it for 8 years and after told him she was not staying in his room? Girl, you already knew that. Disgusting. We're jumping ahead, Tartar. Jumping ahead. This is a season episode 1 and episode 2. Oh, Super Nats, I feel bad for agreeing, but it's true. I love my Deep T, but Deep T is definitely a pick-me. Getting engaged to a man who asked about your weight on the first day. I'm telling you, if he wasn't white or South Asian, I don't think she would have stayed. You probably should have put him with Jared. Can we tell the truth for Shayna the Devil? She would have no tolerance for a Jared. Poor thing. Poor thing. Hey, Bettina. Bettina said Shayna is only using Kyle to stay on the show so she can go off to Shane. I think Kyle wants Shayna because she's a blonde bombshell and she reminds him of his mom. That is the worst way to propose to a woman. I'm proposing to you because you remind me of your mom. Excuse me? Okay. Take this ring. You know what I mean? Like, that is not, a woman doesn't want to hear that, because when you say that we remind you of your mother, you're telling us that we're going to have to be your caretaker. I'm not nurturing you and the kids. At some point, somebody got to get off the teat. Like, I mean, you have to be in the husband role. Yes, I will love you and all of that stuff and rub my man down and service him vaginally. I'll do all that stuff that a wife is supposed to do. Whew. Right? But I'm not your mother. I am your wife. That relationship should be explicitly different, and you should serve it in an explicitly different way. I am not your mother. And if I remind you of her, back away. Back away. There should be no resemblance of me and that heifer. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The worst proposal. Now, if Shayna would have said, "Oh, I don't want to be with him because of that," I would have been like, "Well, that makes sense." But you don't like Kyle. You never did. You weren't interested in him. You became interested in him when you saw your shot for saying on the show, walk away and walk into Natalie's arms, and you said, "There's no way that Natalie is going to take what's mine." Ciao. Hey, CK. CK said there is barely any street man that's awful punk. The outfits are gorgeous, but most of the men there are LGBTQ. They look good. Hi, CK. Are we talking about something else? Speaking of LGBTQ, why don't we have a bisexual character on this show? Oh, straight men. Okay, thank you, CK. CK cleared it up. There is barely, because I'm like, are we talking about New York Fashion Week? There is barely any straight men. That's awful. Punk. The outfits are gorgeous, but most of the men there are LGBTQ. They look good. I still don't know what we're talking about, but thank you for the clarity. Hey, Pedro. Pedro said, I low-key think Deep T. Really? I just think he's not attracted to her. I think he's not attracted to her. I think when he saw her body, can we be real? When he saw her body, or he saw Deep T without the makeup, it just wasn't what he wanted. And I think the facade fell, and he couldn't play that character anymore. Hey, Alaskan said Kenny shortened Tasia's name during the Bachelorette, and I was so pissed. He literally just called her T. Yeah. I noticed that too. But I thought he was trying to be culturally relatable. That's what I thought. Alaskan also said, we loved Lauren and Cameron and didn't realize they capture lightning in a bottle. Absolutely. Once in a lifetime. They are the unicorn of this show. I don't think we'll ever get that. I don't think we will ever get that. All right, Rara, I'll convince her. Rara said, yes, we want to see Mama Star. You don't have to tell her that, but we do, LOL. I will let her know. I will definitely let her know. Let me get two more and then let me get out of here. Hey, S. Raj. S. Raj said the most popular culture worldwide is African American, if we're being honest. As an African American, I'm not debating you. Thank you. Every hood got a white mic. Every hood got a white mic, and he's probably Irish. I don't know why. Every hood got a Irish family. A white Irish family. I don't know why. And I say white Irish because I just discovered that, not all of Ireland is white. A few of y'all got me together in the chat where I was saying that, white Irish was Irish. People are white, something like that. I said something ignorant, you got me together, rightfully so. So I now say white Irish. I'm growing and learning. Tracy said, Star Family, please. The Nikki Star TV General said, Star Family, please like, comment, subscribe, share because you care, and hit that notification button. Thank you so much, Tracy. The Super Nat said, between Mark, now Kyle, and Nat, I think a lot of the brown people on the show fetishize white blondes. Of course. This is America. Like, you wouldn't fetishize or like desire to be like or be with the most celebrated look in this nation. It makes sense. Like, I'm not dogging anybody who feels that way. Like, it makes sense. There's a lot of unlearning that you have to do to even start to see yourself as beautiful, as a person of color, as a Black person, as somebody who is not straight, as somebody who is, not tall or wealthy. Like, we glamorize one beauty standard in this nation. So it makes sense. They dig their heels in when they hear that Barbie Ken voice and ignore all the disrespect. Absolutely. 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 Stunning, Nichelle. She's absolutely stunning. But again, like Danielle, I don't think she knows that. I don't think the foundation is the wrong shade. It is. It is. But if you're somebody like Deep T, did you grow up or do you live in a neighborhood where your foundation is accessible? See what I'm saying? I'm telling you, you got to get around your people. You got to. In America, you just have to. You just have to. It's so much trauma when you are outside, when you are not surrounded by your culture, unfortunately. My last comment is going to be Pseudo. Pseudo said, after Colton last season, they scared to dip back in, but failed to realize the LGBTQ community ain't a monolith. Absolutely. Absolutely. And also failed to realize that just because these men are, saying that they're one way does not mean that that's the truth. Like, let me tell you something. I learned very early on that a lot of men are gay. A lot of men are bisexual. The LGBTQ community is not small. Not small at all. They should not even be seen as a minority. That is a majority community. But a lot of people, because of how society is, are closeted. I get it. I understand. But, that's a large community. We'll end on that. We love the LGBT community over here. Hey guys, I love you guys. Anyway, let me get out of here. I will see you guys tomorrow we got a lot going on tomorrow. What's tonight? The Real Housewives of New Jersey tomorrow. And Love is Blind, episode 3 and 4. Episode 3 and 4 of Love is Blind. And I'm going to try to get my mom to do a reality TV chat with me at some point. But yeah, so that might happen tomorrow as well. But tomorrow, right now, is the Real Housewives of New Jersey recap and Love is Blind episodes 3 and 4. Thank you all for joining me. I had a great time. I hope you guys did. We're going to end with NTR. Thank you for the super chat. Ching ching. NTR said, hecka late joining our replay gang, but glad to be here with the Star family. Thank you, NTR. And we are glad to have you be a part of the Star family. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Abbott Elementary, a great family show. Please go watch and support a fellow Philly sister who is showing great love to teachers and the city of Philadelphia. Abbott Elementary tonight. Thank you, Alicia, and thank you all, Star family. Love you guys. I know it's been a minute, but it feels so good to be welcomed back. See you tomorrow. Bye. Oh my gosh. It was so hard not to skip ahead, but we did good.